I've always liked being alone in nature. There's something about the silence, the kind that feels endless, that makes me feel alive. Every year I take one solo camping trip. No phone, no company, no noise, just me, the forest, and a few nights away from everything. This story happened last fall, and even now when I close my eyes, I can still hear the sound of that knocking. I left early that morning, around 6 a.m., heading toward the Beartooth Mountains in Montana. I'd been there once before, years ago, but this time I wanted to go deeper, off the main trails, away from the campsites. I guess, I wanted to test myself. By the time I reached the area I'd picked on the map, it was almost 6 p.m. The last hour of the drive was pure dirt road. No signs, no houses, no bars on my phone. When I finally parked, the sun was just beginning to dip behind the ridge. I hiked for maybe half an hour before I found a small clearing surrounded by tall pines. Perfectly quiet. No birds, no insects. Just the sound of my own boots crunching against the leaves. I set up my tent, lit a small fire, and boiled water for noodles. As I sat there eating, I remember thinking how calm everything felt, like the forest was holding its breath. When the fire died down, I climbed into my sleeping bag and turned off my lantern. The moonlight slipped through the trees, just enough to outline the shape of my tent. I lay there for a while, listening. Nothing. Just that heavy silence that only deep woods can make. I must have dozed off at some point, because the next thing I remember was waking up suddenly. The kind of wake-up where your body reacts before your mind catches up. It was cold and completely silent. Not a single sound, not even wind. Then I heard it, a soft tap, right beside my head, like someone pressing a finger against the tent's fabric. At first I froze. My brain tried to find logic. Maybe a branch, a squirrel. But then came another tap, and another, moving slowly, along the side of the tent. I whispered, "Hello?" Nothing. The tapping moved again, around to the back of the tent, then to the front, like something was circling me. I grabbed my flashlight, hand trembling. I didn't want to unzip the tent. Every instinct screamed, "Stay quiet." But curiosity, in fear, got the better of me. I pulled the zipper down just an inch and shined the light outside. The beam hit the trees. Nothing moved. I swept the light left to right. Still nothing. I could hear my own breathing echoing in that silence. Then from behind me, tap. I spun around, hitting the back of the tent with the flashlight. Again, nothing. That's when I noticed something weird. The smell, like wet earth and something metallic. It was faint but wrong, like blood mixed with rain. I tried to calm myself, telling my brain it was just my imagination. Animals, the wind, anything but what I felt it was. I turned off the flashlight and lay back down, pretending to sleep. Minutes passed. Then I heard it again, this time closer, not tapping, but breathing, slow, right next to my ear, through the thin fabric of the tent. I held my breath. The breathing stopped, and then it whispered my name. I didn't move, didn't speak. I just lay there, eyes open in the dark. The whisper came again. Same tone, same voice. Soft, familiar somehow. It said my name a second time, almost like a parent waking a child. Then I heard what sounded like nails dragging lightly down the tent wall. I couldn't take it anymore. I yelled, something like, "Go away!" and hit the side of the tent with my flashlight. Silence. Total silence. The rest of the night I stayed awake. Every little sound made me flinch. At one point I swore I heard footsteps crunching in the leaves outside. Slow, careful steps. But I didn't look. I couldn't. When the sun finally started rising, I unzipped the tent. My whole body was shaking. Outside, the clearing looked normal again, but the ground around my tent wasn't. There were footprints in the dirt, bare feet, small, like a child's, circling my tent over and over. And the weirdest part? They stopped right where my head had been, at the side of the tent. I packed up fast, didn't even eat breakfast. I just wanted to get out of there. When I reached my car, I turned to look back one last time. The clearing was still. The trees didn't move. But just as I opened the door, I heard it again. Faint, far away. 3 soft knocks. Tap, tap, tap. I don't go camping alone anymore. And I never will again.